What up, this is Solo Travel or RD, back with another video review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, hit that bell while you are here. So with this video review, we're going to go over, watch out bros, do not fall for the okie doke with these women in the West. Because you guys are hearing the messages, a lot of Fed workers are losing their jobs. A lot of them are women. And with that being said, you know what that means. When women start losing their job, now their attitude starts to change. Now they do not have that attitude that they are, you know, that boss bee and that they could take care of whatever they want. They could be independent. So a lot of them, what they're going to do is they are going to come to you guys and act like basically that they want you. And brothers, I got to tell you guys, don't do it, because we know that everything is better outside the United States. We know that the juice is worth the squeeze in another country than what it is in the West. It is not worth it here. You do not want to, you know, get yourself into a situation that you can't get yourself out of. So right now, these women, they're going to start being in desperate mode, and you do not want to be one of the ones to go help them out and to make them feel good, because at the end of the day, once they get themselves back up, you know what's going to happen. They're going to drop you and they're going to try to screw you over. So I'm telling you brothers right now, although this is going on, hey, keep your eyes on the prize and keep traveling, get your passports and do what you got to do. But before we go ahead and jump into the first video, I want to let you guys know that with this first video, first I got to introduce you guys. For those of you who haven't, you know, been knowing what's been going on, I'm going to go over the news report. Then we're going to go over a few videos of these women talking about being let go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these videos. So here's the news report.
Thousands more federal workers were fired by the Trump administration. The targets included education, homeland security, and health and human services, including the CDC.
Less than a month into his term, President Trump took a victory lap at the Daytona International Speedway Sunday. President Trump and billionaire ally Elon Musk have worked to reshape and downsize the federal government, a move his supporters are cheering on.
I think he came in, pedal to the metal, as they would say here.
But bearing the brunt of the cost cutting are the tens of thousands of probationary federal workers, newer hires who have been in their roles for a year or two. Close to 1,300 of those employees have been terminated from the Centers for Disease Control, and we're learning about thousands more across other government agencies.
I'd say the last couple of weeks, there was a lot of stress, fear, and tension.
Chelsea Milburn, based in Nevada, was fired last week from the Department of Education. She started last fall, but before that, she served more than a decade in the U.S. Navy. She's part of the approximately 30% of federal workers who are military veterans.
The message right now is that the people making the decisions about whether or not we keep our jobs, how we're treated, and how the termination of our jobs are handled don't care about our service.
The Department of Veterans Affairs announced last week more than 1,000 workers were fired, but the majority of the agency's 43,000 probationary employees are exempt. Democratic senators say the wider cuts are having a negative impact.
There you have it. You see what's going on. So with all these jobs being cut, these women, they're going to be looking for someone to help them out. They're going to be looking for support. Is that going to be you? That's the biggest question. Let's move on to the next video. So just got fired from the USAID. My job was researching whether or not pigs can actually fly. Thanks a lot, Elon. That's funny. I know, of course, that's comedy, but let's go ahead and move on to the next videos, which these are actual people who are basically telling us about their opinion on the whole situation, who was let go. Let's go ahead and move on.
Hi, everyone. Please pardon my appearance as it is after 4 a.m. on Tuesday, February 18th. And I wanted to come on here as one of the thousands of federal employees who lost their job with the federal government this weekend.
Jesus Christ.
More specifically, I was removed from my position through an email from an unrecognized HR account from my agency around 1 p.m. on Saturday of this holiday weekend. No one within my chain of supervision was involved in this decision. I have gone through the entire range of emotions this past weekend. There is a lot of sadness in my heart. There's also a lot of anger. The firing of thousands of federal employees across the government is going to have detrimental impacts on regular people like yourself watching this video. My position with my healthcare agency was involved in Affordable Care Act health insurance marketplace policy and operations. And so I was one of the people regulating health insurers to make sure that they were not selling you junk insurance, making sure that they were covering all the benefits that they had to cover, charging you a fair amount of cost sharing, making sure that they weren't discriminating against you based on your health conditions or health status. And with fewer people like myself in the government, you can imagine the impact that that will have on the regulation of massive corporations. And I think that's part of the point of all of this.
So I'm gonna stop her there. So you see the type of position that she has. She has a position that, had a position that was stating that she felt that she was empowered, that she was able to, live a decent life on her own, and she was empowered to do her job. Well, now she doesn't have that anymore. Let's move on to the next one.
I was one of the thousands of federal workers terminated this weekend. Let's talk about it. Am I surprised? No. I was working for a federal health agency, so once RFK Jr. was confirmed last week, and they started almost immediately with the CDC and firing off 1,300 probationary workers on Friday, I knew that my time was coming very shortly after, and I got my email on Saturday. It was from an email I've never seen before. It was something like important HR notification at agency.gov, an email I've never seen before. It didn't come from one of my managers or direct supervisors. I haven't heard from anybody superior to me. I just got that email letting me know I was terminated for performance. The email said something along the lines of the agency does not see my current skills and abilities as fit for continued employment, and therefore they are terminating my employment. And this is the same email that thousands and thousands and thousands of people got. It doesn't actually reflect my abilities or anybody's abilities who was laid off via this email. They're using the same cookie cutter template, because when you're on the probationary period, which I am, as well as the thousands of other people currently being laid off, you can only let us go if it is a performance issue or a budget issue or something along those lines. And I guess the only reason that they could find that they could issue in a mass manner was performance issues. And the thing is, it's almost comical when you reference performance issues when laying off probationary employees, because many of these probationary employees at these federal health agencies were presidential management fellows, were pathways program employees, other really competitive programs that you enter to start federal service. These are people you're letting go. So it was literally the top talent that they were recruiting to bring in to fill in these gaps and where they need people to serve. And they're letting those people go because of performance issues. And it's also not just these brand new hires. When you are put on the probationary period, that could be an employee who's been with some agency for 10, 20 years, but they just recently switched into a supervisor position. And so they were filling a gap in which they needed a supervisor in a critical role. They were serving for such a long period of time, serving successfully, that they were put into this role. And now in this new role, they were put on a probationary period, and now they're being let go. And
yep, there's another one. Sad to have to say it, but it is what it is, working for the government. At one point, that was a position that you thought was kind of untouchable, but with all these positions that was being filled, it seems like a lot of them, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of them are women filling these positions. So as you can see, a lot of them are losing their jobs. And like I said, brothers, you're gonna have to be careful, because in between time, while they're looking for another job, they're gonna be good. The ones that had took the 8-month package, severance pay, they're good for 8 months, but after that time, they don't find another job. They're gonna be right there at your doorstep. And I gotta tell you, brothers, what you gonna do? I gotta ask you, what you gonna do? Because are you going to fold, or are you gonna keep traveling and enjoying your life?
Hey, my name's Ashley, and I'm one of the tens of thousands of federal employees who were unjustly fired this weekend. And I want to tell you a little bit about how that happened and why, as the American people, we should be really worried about this. When you're hired on as a Fed, you go through something called the probationary period, which sounds like something negative, but really it's just the either 1 or 2 years after you were first hired, where you don't have the full like tenure or protections that other, you know, senior career federal employees have. So if you're hired with a disability, which is also called Schedule A, as I was, your probationary period lasts for 2 years. So I was hired as a contractor to the NIH in March of 2022. I was hired on as a Fed in September of 2023, and now here we are in 2025, and I still have about 8 months left on my probationary period, if my math is correct. Now, this might sound really boring, but this is important, okay? So pay attention. The Trump administration has decided that in order to do a wide-scale reduction in force, they are going to just, without any regard for who the people are, what their positions are, or their seniority, whatever, any probationary employee that is still within their 1 to 2 year period is just fired. And that's what happened this weekend in the Department of Health and Human Services and its sister agencies like the National Institutes of Health, which is who I work for. Okay, so probationary employees fired. My colleagues and I all got the same form letter from an unknown HR account saying that we had been fired for performance issues, okay, which, as you can imagine, with no proof to back up performance issues and the exact same form letter sent to all employees, you know, the performance issues really aren't the problem here.
So I'm gonna tell you guys, you see what's going on. Every single one of them received that same email. And like I said, these are the ones that didn't take the severance package. And unfortunately, they're gonna be the ones out here looking for someone to help them out. So this is why I want to make the video, because I want to encourage you brothers not to get caught up in the situation, because they are going to be looking for men. And at that point, you're going to have a decision to make. So I got to tell you brothers, don't make the wrong decision. Take the red pill, don't take that blue pill, and keep it pushing, because at the moment that they get up, they're going to be talking crazy about y'all. So you don't want to be the one to help them up, you know, simp for them, and then they start treating you bad. So, yo, this is the Solo Traveler ORD. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.